Thank you much, one and all, to the panel for your comments, observations. I think there's probably a better understanding of the nature and the extent of this particular problem as we face it together. One of the things that came to my mind, and I'll depart from the script a bit, as we've considered and discussed the legislation that has been pending currently on the in the U.S. Congress, it seemed to me that a worthwhile question for the general group would be, really, in the alternative, what type of legislation would be more effective in confronting this problem? Are we looking at new tools, stricter enforcement, more resources? It covers a whole variety of things, but I was curious to get some feedback and perhaps to help the audience. Director Freeh, would you like to start?
Sure. One thing that I think they could do on the non-educational side is, as our State Department does, and the Justice Department also, we have substantial funding programs to foreign countries for drug interdiction, for counterterrorism, billions and billions of dollars that are being spent in that area. This is a program that could use some resources and some training overseas. It's great to have counterparts in these countries, but some of the countries I recently visited, the police officers don't have enough money to put gas in their cars. So funding a program and then giving some training and structure to it would have enormous benefits and return of investment to enforcement here, because as we've heard all morning, it's not a program that is problematic because of Canadian connections. It's because of everything that happens before that. So I think a foreign education training program with some expertise being delivered with some funds dedicated to that program would be a very good thing to do.
Thank you. Other comments?
Yeah, Tom, I would just like to issue, some people have talked about where the medicines come from and how do we do interdiction. Right, at DEA, we talked about interdiction, detection, and awareness, as Director Freeh said. So most of you probably have mailed packages by FedEx or UPS, and you have to fill out what's in the package, who you are, where you are. But with the U.S. Postal Service, you don't have to do that. This is not a critical commentary on the United States Postal Service. It's just a fact. And so it shouldn't be surprising that in over 400 undercover purchases that we've made from online pharmacies, the majority of which indicated they were from Canada. In every case, the medicines came from abroad. In every case, they came into the United States through a U.S. Postal Service process. In every case, we received the medicines undetected, undetained. So there's legislation being introduced to require that the same rigorous input data for FedEx and UPS be used for the United States Postal Service. It makes sense. It's not a tax on the American people. The person who sends the parcel fills out the information and funds this legislation. When we do these 400 undercover buys, we take the information and we give it to Customs and Border Protection, Homeland Security, FDA, so they know the return address, the name, the banking, they have all the information, which would be terrific if the bad guys sent it by UPS or FedEx, because they could watch for that. But as Dr. Von Ishbeck said, if you go to JFK and you see the tens of thousands of parcels that arrive daily via USPS, there's no way to identify where those parcels came from. Are they known suspect entities, suspect traffickers? No way to know. So as we talk about other ways to address this, passing that act, giving our postal inspectors, who really in my mind is the secret agency in the United States, phenomenal investigators. But now we have them handcuffed and blindfolded. And we really challenge them with doing their job well without giving them the tools. So that would be one idea.